Hey guys, today we have another video in singly linked lists, and what we're going to talk about today is merging two singly linked lists together in numerical order. And so what's going to happen is we have our first list that is also in numerical order, that we know is in numerical order, that says 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then we have our second list that says 2, 4, 6, 8, and we want to combine them and return a list that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so that's just about it in the merge. Definitely pause the video and try it on your own if you guys want to. I encourage that because that's the best way you're gonna learn. But if you guys have any trouble, definitely come back and we'll work through it together. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to check to make sure there is a second list, or that we have our first list, or that our first list and second list isn't empty, and if they are, we need to handle for that. And so we'll say that if not self.head, return sll2.head, and if not sll2.head, return. So this is just some base cases we're doing to handle for if either list is empty. What we're going to do now is we're going to handle for the actual merging, and so we're going to need to take care of or make three variables. I'm going to call the first one L1, second one L2, and I'm going to say third one is equal to the new list. And so what we're going to do is our first one is going to be equal to self.head, and so we're saying that our L1 is going to hold our head node for our first list so that we can loop through our first list. Our second one is going to be sll2.head, which is going to let us loop through our second list. And for now, our new list is going to be equal to none. And the first thing we want to do is we want to establish where our new list is going to start from, right? Because if we have a new list right here, we want to figure out whether it's going to start with the head node of list 1 or the head node for list 2. And so we're just going to all we need to do is we need to compare. So we'll say if L1.data is less than L2.data, we want to say that our new list is equal to L1, and we want to move our L1 node over. Otherwise, if not just less than and equal to, because if L1, if both lists start with 1, then I'm just gonna say that we want to start with our head node for list 1, just because it'll make it simple. But if L2.data is less than L1.data, we want to say our new list should start with our our head node, and we want to move our L2 node over. And so what we did here is, taking these two lists as example, we have our new list. And so we compared our head node for list 1 and our head node for list 2. We compared them, and we figured out that our head node for our list 1 is lower than our head node for list 2. So we're going to say our new list is going to be equal to that, equal to the list 1, and we're going to move our list 1 node over to 3 because we handled for the 1, we appended it to our new list, and we're just going to move it over. And now what we're going to do is, in our next iteration, we're going to compare our 3 with our 2. And so by doing this, we'll be able to compare. We realize that the 2 is less than the 3. We say our new list, the next node after our 1 is going to be the 2. We move our new list over, and then we move our list L2 over to the next node, so that we keep moving our new list as needed, and we loop through all of our list 1 and we loop through all of our list 2. I think I said those backwards. We loop through all of our list 2 and we loop through all of our list 1. And so hopefully that made sense. I think it'll make a little more sense if we do it in code. But now what we need to do is we need to start a while loop. While L1 and L2, which means we want to make sure that there is an L1 node and an L2 node to compare. If L1.data is less than or equal to L2.data. We want to do something. Elif L2.data is less than L1.data. We want to do something. So what do we want to do? We want to say that our new list.next will be equal to the L1. That our L1, we're going to move our L1 node over. L1.next is equal to L1.next. And then we're going to move our new list over. So that now, so that we're able to move, we're able to loop through our list 1, and we're able to move our new list accordingly, and we move it to our next node so that we're able to continuously add a next node in our new list. And this obviously sets what the next node is going to be. And let me just copy this, put it right here, and this is just going to be for list 2. So what are we doing here? We're saying that, let me copy this because I think it'll be easier if it's down here. We're saying that we said our 1 is going to be our first node, then we moved our L1 over. So we said our new list is going to be equal to the 1. We moved our L1 over, and our L2 was still equal to the 2. And after we run our first iteration in the while loop, we see that our L2.data is less than the L1.data. So we're saying our new list.next is going to be equal to the 2. Our L1 is still going to be equal to the 3. And our L2 is going to be equal to the 4, because we said L2 is equal to L2.next. So we move it over. And then we say, we established what our new list.next is going to be, what the next node in our new list will be. And then we move our new list over so that it doesn't just get stuck at the 1, but we're continuously moving it over so that we're continuously adding a next node. And so this is just handling for, obviously, if the list 1 node is less than the list 2 node or equal, and this is just handling for the opposite if our list 2 node is less than our list 1 node. And so this is just going to be for when we have L1 and L2. If we get to a point where, like in this case, L2 is 4 nodes long and L1 is 5 nodes long, once we've handled for the 8 in L2, we still have the 9 left in L1, right? But what if it wasn't just 9? What if it was 10, 12, 14, 100, right? We want to be able to append the rest of these to our new list. And so all we need to do is we need to say, because at this point, that means we're saying that our L2 is equal to none. Because after we move our L2 over from the 8 to our next value, it's going to be the none, and so it's going to fail this while loop. And so what we want to say is, if not L2, we're going to say new list.next is going to be equal to our list 1. And if not list 1, we're just going to do the opposite. New list.next is equal to L2. And at the very end, we're just going to return our new list. And so if we run this, we have 156, 129. If we run this, we get, let me just make this little, we get 112569. And so what this did is we established where so obviously both lists were not empty. We established what our starting node was, and so in this case, our list 1 head was equal to our list 2 head. And so what we said was, we're just going to say our new list will start off with our list 1 head. We moved our list 1 over, and now we don't run this, we get to our while loop. And so we keep comparing, we move our list 1 over, and we keep comparing our list 1 and our list 2 data. We keep looping through our list 1 and list 2. We keep setting our next values for our next list, and we keep moving our new list over so that we're able to set our new next values without having to replace any. Because if we don't do this line, our new list is always going to be equal to the 1, and then we're never going to be able to append something after that, because it's just going to keep switching from one new list is equal to 1, then our new list.next would be equal to 2, and then 3, but we're never going to move it forward. And so by saying that our new list is 1 and then our new list.next is 2, we can move our new list over so that our new list is equal to 2. And so when we do want to append the 3, we can say that the new list should go after the 3 should go after the 2 and not the 1. And so that's why we move our new list over. And so this is just one example. I'll try another one. I'll say 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and then 2, 4, 6, and 8. And so if we run this, we should get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so that is merging two lists. I hope this helps you guys, and if you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments. And other than that, hopefully it helps, and see you guys next time. All right, later guys.